From The Australian, here's what's on the front. I'm Claire Harvey. It's Wednesday, August 13, 2025. The Reserve Bank has dropped the cash rate 0.25 percentage point to 3.6%, the lowest it's been since mid-2023. RBA Governor Michelle Bullock says don't hold your breath for a big jump in living standards. A senior academic is accusing Australian National University Chancellor Julie Bishop of bullying. A tearful Dr Liz Allen told a Senate committee she was allegedly bullied into near suicide and miscarried a much-wanted baby. Julie Bishop has denied any wrongdoing. Those stories are live right now at theaustralian.com.au. Birkin bags, a Rolex, luxury cars. That's what police say they seized from the home of a Canberra woman they're accusing of spying for the Chinese government. They say the unnamed woman was tasked by Chinese intelligence with infiltrating a Buddhist religious movement that claims Kevin Rudd is the reincarnation of a Chinese man. Today, what she was allegedly up to and why police say she's a risk to the community. On a cold winter morning the week before last, Australian Federal Police officers attached to an operation called Autumn Shield raided the apartment of a married Canberra businesswoman and allegedly found some items you don't usually see around the low-key national capital.
Numerous Hermes bags, more than 6, believed to be Birkin and or Kelly bags.
Those are the world's most expensive handbags. And this is a voice actor reading the words of police in court documents.
Large quantities of boxes for luxury handbags that were too numerous to practicably count during the warrant. $5,000 in cash sorted into $100 bills. Numerous watch receipts, including a $24,000 receipt for a Rolex. Large quantities of luxury and designer brands, including Burberry, Gucci and Louis Vuitton.
There's a lot of mystery around this woman.
This is The Australian's reporter Leah Mendez, who's been knocking on doors in Canberra trying to piece together the life of this woman whose name has been suppressed.
We're trying to paint the picture of who she is and what her connections were. She's got this very complex web of business structures which we're looking into and trying to kind of get our heads around it. But there is a lot to unpack here, and I think there is a lot more to come in this story.
Police have charged the woman with reckless foreign interference. That's a breach of the Commonwealth Criminal Code Act that carries a penalty of 15 years imprisonment. Here's what the charge sheet says. We've used an AI voice.
Between 2022 and the present, engaged in conduct, namely covertly or deceptively collecting information and tasking associates to collect information on Shinling Farman Guanyin Sita Dharma Door, on behalf of or in collaboration with a foreign principal being the government of the People's Republic of China. And they were reckless as to whether their conduct would support the intelligence activities of the government of the People's Republic of China.
In other words, spying and running other spies. But it's a lesser charge than intentional foreign interference, which could suggest authorities think the woman was less a super spy and more a local asset.
They are essentially alleging that she was allegedly receiving these taskings from a handler attached to the Jindong branch, which is about 650 kilometres east of Wuhan.
Court documents say the woman arrived in 2007 on a higher education visa, and she's now an Australian permanent resident. They say when police raided the house and seized her phone, they found evidence of a connection going back to 2022 with an officer of China's Public Security Bureau. That's Chinese police. And this officer allegedly works for the domestic security group of the Bureau, that is, intelligence gathering. Police say the PSB officer back in China was regularly tasking her with numerous covert and deceptive information operations, in support of intelligence activities on behalf of China. They say she was getting her taskings in person on her visits to China and on WeChat, the Chinese encrypted social media and messaging app.
The taskings that she was allegedly given was quite physical-based taskings where she had to take photos of front doors of businesses, allegedly, mapping locations and financial information about the organisation and the business. And it was, an alleged intel gathering operation that she was doing. She's alleged to have received more than $230,000 from the PRC since 2017. Now, she does have still very strong links to China. She's a permanent resident here. She's got a lot of family in China, but she still does have strong connections to Canberra.
Police say she has bank accounts both in Australia and in China, and that since 2017, more than $230,000 have flowed her way from sources in China.
We are restricted due to a very strict suppression order in saying what she does for work. I get the feeling that the Australian Federal Police also do not want the public to know. They haven't in court pushed for the suppression order, but they also didn't oppose the suppression order. I'll give you an example. There's a mystery item that costs $400,000 that is in her possession. That has been redacted from court documents. We've got a fair understanding of what that item is, but can't say for legal reasons what that is because that could identify her.
On September 1, the matter will be back in court where media organisations, including The Australian, are arguing for the suppression order to be lifted.
She is the one who has applied for this order because she fears that people that have got anti-China sentiments are going to essentially attack her.
All that money and fancy stuff, that's what the police call unexplained wealth. That is, possessions that can't be explained by the earnings of the person who's holding them. Luxury goods are generally small and a great way to move money around. You can get on a flight with a handbag, for example, and take it to another jurisdiction without attracting the attention that you might get if you had a backpack full of cash.
I'll give you a bit of context here. About 10 years ago, she was working in a job that was paying her about $1,400 a week. Since then, she's had lots of businesses. She started some businesses during COVID as well. Some of them, by all accounts, seem to have done quite well, but still, we're talking about Birkin bags, multiple amount of these bags that were discovered that, police said there were too many to count. Some of these bags are alleged to cost around $30,000. We've got other information that implies that she was driving high-end luxury vehicles. We're talking, very fancy cars.
So, who was she allegedly spying on and why? The police say the woman was tasked with infiltrating a charismatic Buddhist group that was founded in Australia. Guanyin Chitta Dharma Door is an Australian-founded religious organisation whose founder once claimed former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd was the living reincarnation of a Chinese man. Guanyin Chitta Dharma Door claims to be a Buddhist organisation in the Mahayana tradition, the largest of Buddhism's streams, although that claim has been questioned by other Buddhist organisations. Its leader was a Chinese-Australian man who went by the name Richard Junhong Lu, or Master Lu. He said he was a Chinese national who moved to Australia in the late 80s and studied at the University of New South Wales. He began radio broadcasts about Buddhism and then founded the group, which is registered in Australia under the name Australia Oriental Media Buddhist Charity. Chinese language media reported Junhong Lu had died in 2021. It's been reported the organisation is banned in China, where major faiths like Catholicism and Islam are required to register with the Chinese Communist Party government in order to lawfully practice. One in Chitadamadore's website is packed with emotional videos, glowing testimonials, and Master Junhong Lu addressing his adoring followers.
Treat everyone with compassion. This world will truly be filled with love and peace.
Master Lu is seen in a video series featuring subtitles apparently praying for the salvation of people who've been struck by speech impediments or paralysis. He says they're suffering the effects of bad karma, attracted by the deeds of themselves or their ancestors. This woman is on her knees begging for advice to help her husband, who's in a wheelchair. Master Lu tells her the husband attracted bad karma by fishing when he was a boy. He tells the sister of a little girl in a wheelchair to become a vegetarian to release the girl from karmic debt. He tells the mother of a little boy that her son has been possessed by the spirit of a dead puppy. He tells the mother to release 5,000 fish to cure the boy. Coming up, what happened after police executed the search warrant? On July 30, according to court documents, police came to the woman's apartment to execute that search warrant. She was there at the time. They seized her passport and left without arresting her, but it's clear they had her under surveillance. The next day, July 31, according to court documents,
the defendant engaged in a conversation with an unknown person, during which the defendant noted that she intends to leave and had packed 6 bags of clothes. On the 1st of August 2025, the defendant had a third party drive her to the Chinese consulate, where she stayed for about an hour and a half.
That prompted police to act. They went back to the apartment on August 2 and arrested her, and then asked the ACT's chief magistrate to deny her bail. They say the woman has a history of misleading and deceptive conduct and could easily flee the country, even though they'd seized her passport. They noted her husband is presently in China.
The prosecution of the defendant is therefore directly contrary to the interests of the PRC and linked to the national security capabilities and agencies of the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China can issue new travel documents and urgent travel documents at short notice. The PRC, or allied nation, may offer shelter to the defendant, should she be able to attend an embassy or consulate in the event she is bailed.
Bail was denied and she was taken to the ACT Regional Watch House. She declined to participate in a recorded interview with police.
The interesting thing here is that this is obviously a foreign interference case, and the way that people are managed in these cases are that they are kept in essentially a solitary confinement. They're not allowed to interact with other prisoners. They're a very high-ranking, almost secretive classification within the prison system. There are some occasions, I'm told, where interstate transfers have even happened. So there's a chance that she might not be in the ACT, but these are all some of the complex things that authorities have to deal with when there is someone of her nature facing these incredibly serious charges.
Leah Mendez is a reporter with The Australian. While I've got you, on September 24, The Australian's throwing one of our most exciting forums. It's called Energy Nation, and it'll feature leaders and decision makers talking about how to turn Australia into an energy superpower. Secure your spot now at theaustralian.com.au.